Hello and welcome back to another analysis. Today we're looking at the Bluey theme song from the wonderful Australian show Bluey, obviously. We're going to have a look at the music, we're going to have a look at why it's so catchy and what makes it such a brilliant piece of composition. Let's hook into it. So starting with harmony, we're in E major. It's pretty straightforward, this one, harmonically speaking. All the chords are in E, the melodies are in E, the main motif that we've got, this one, it resolves to E every single time it repeats. So there's no question there. We're in E major. There's no sort of non-diatonic play. It's E and we're staying in E. The guitar in this really provides the main harmonic accompaniment. I think we're hearing an E major, just an E major chord, moving to an E sus4. There's quite a few people out there who say that the E shifts to an A major. For my ears, it sounds like an E sus4. You may already know that that sus4 note is actually an A, so it makes sense that people are hearing it as that, or it makes sense that I'm hearing it as a sus4 if it is actually an A. Either way, that shift to the sus4 gives us the A tonality there as a bit of a change. The melody in the Bluey theme is made up of a core repeating motif, and it's played by a melodica. For anyone who doesn't know, this is a melodica. That main motif repeats 4 times throughout the theme. It's consistently in E major, it resolves to E each time and stays diatonic throughout. It does have a nice mix of quavers and crotchets, so a little bit of rhythmic variation in there. We obviously see it starting with a quaver motif, and then it's got this nice little emphasis on the ands, on the offbeats there, on 3 and 4 and. And then we've got a change to a slower crotchet section in that bar before essentially repeating again, the exception that last bar is slightly shorter. Basically, it's a 2-bar pattern that repeats, so you've got 4 bars of the main motif. Now, there is also a repeating rhythmic motif that shows up in a few of the different parts. We can see it here in the baritone sax, guitar, bass, and stomp. And to be fair, it's in the claps as well, just with a slight variation. It's this rhythm that's emphasizing the 1, 2 and 4. It's almost like a triplet across the bar with each note lasting a dotted crotchet or 3 quavers. The exception to that, obviously, is that the hand clap also has a hit on the 2, but the fact that they're all playing in unison on the 1, 2 and 4 does emphasize those beats. And that does repeat throughout the whole theme. It's worth also saying that there is a nice little bit of interplay between the main melody and that rhythmic idea, where we have the main melody giving our offbeat pattern on the 3 and 4 and, while the accompaniment hits the 4 in between them. The other melodic run that we should talk about before we move on to structure is this synthesizer run at the end of the piece. It's a triplet pattern, basically ascending from E to E, outlining the key that we're in, except it leaves out the 4, which is the A, and the 7, which is the D sharp. And it's interesting that it leaves out the A because, as we said before, that is the main note used to create variation in the harmonic accompaniment through that E sus4 chord. The overall structure is 16 bars, and within those 16 bars we have 4 sections. Each one is 4 bars. The online confusion is mainly around the time signatures and rests at the end of each 4-bar phrase. So to my ears, the rests before the character names go 3, 2, 1, Bluey. So that's 3 rests before it says Mum, 2 rests before Dad, 1 rest before Bingo, and no rests before Bluey. I count it as 3 bars of 4/4 and then a bar of 5/4 before it says Mum, 3 bars of 4/4 and a bar of 5/4 before it says Dad, 3 bars of 4/4 and then a bar of 5/4 before it says Bingo, and then just 4/4 for the rest of the song. But there is an interview with Joff Bush when he says that the bar before it says Mum is actually in 7/8, not 5/4, which is an interesting one, because if it is that, I mean, I get it. It does make the 3-2-1 Bluey less clean, And I'm not fully convinced that that is exactly the best way to notate it. The last thing to talk about for Bluey is the instrumentation. Now, it's worth saying how much I love the melodica in this. So, as I showed you before, this is what a melodica looks like, and it's a really fun instrument to use as the main melody. It's a little bit childlike, but it's a little bit unique, a little bit quirky, just because not everybody grew up with a melodica in their house. I know there are a lot of people out there going, what is that instrument? If you Google what are the instruments in Bluey, there's a whole Reddit forum of people being confused by what that lead instrument is. It's a melodica! Now, other than melodica, we've got a percussion section, which includes sort of stomps or kicks, if you want to call them that, and some hand claps as extra percussion there. Then we've also got a bass guitar, electric guitar, and I think we've also got an acoustic guitar in there as well. Some people like to think it's just one guitar, but I'm hearing two. I'm hearing an electric and an acoustic working together. Above that, we've got a brass section that I'm hearing as a baritone sax, tenor sax, and a trumpet. I'm not sure if I'm 100% on that, but that's what I'm hearing it as. We've got a synthesizer with that run at the end, and above that, we've got the vocals, which say the character names. Now, that's it for my Bluey analysis. Please let me know if there's anything that you've thought of that I haven't. I hope this was helpful, and I'll see you next time.